And that's a possibility.
The space shuttle's windows are typically 4 to 5 window panes thick. And because of this, the view outside can easily be distorted.
With these panes of glass, we're going to be able to show you reflections. Eamon's going to be shining a bright light here and trying to mimic what might happen with sunlight moving around. The glass is very thick. What you have then is you have an inner surface and an outer surface on each piece of glass that has separation, and then you have 4 or 5 pieces of glass. Now each of those surfaces will reflect light.
With light reflecting through several different panes, it can make debris on the windows appear to grow in size or move.
You'll see as the sunlight moves around, it's going to pick up different aspects of this.
On the computer monitor, the team can clearly see how easily light can distort the smallest particle.
As you'll see on here, note that this one fades out, that particular one right there. So it looks like it's growing. It looks like it might be coming towards us because as the light increases in intensity, it appears to be growing bigger. Now, that stuff you're seeing coming across in between the lens and the sheets of glass, the window. And it's being illuminated from the light that's coming on the window side.
Not only is there debris outside the shuttle, but there is also debris between the window panels.
How would debris get inside the panes of glass?
Here you can see how the panes of glass are vibrating at different frequencies. And that translates, of course, to the edges here. So if it pushed against it like that sheet of glass and caused it a little piece to just break free. It could be anything. It could be a paint or a piece of aluminum or maybe some dried up insulation or something.
So aberrations are common. Not only can there be debris magnified on the outside of the window, any internal debris that breaks off in between the glass layers can appear as a strange object as well.
Stark sunlight coming, at acute angles into the field, ice particles, all these add up to me to a pretty good set of candidate explanations for what we're seeing in these photos.
So all this goes to show that when you're looking through these multiple panes of glass, you're looking at a lot more than just what's outside.
Oh, absolutely. It's much more, as I said, there's much more than meets the eye.
There's clearly a lot of objects that are far off in the distance from the space shuttle, and those may not be little pieces of ice or dust particles. I'm not entirely convinced that all the NASA footage is a bunch of dust particles. There may be some stuff out there.
Brick's demonstration may explain some of the objects seen by astronauts, but it doesn't explain official NASA footage taken outside the space shuttle. Footage that shows objects which some claim are moving under intelligent control. August 6th, 2005, just before dawn over the Pacific waters that separate Hawaii and the U.S. mainland. A camera on Space Shuttle mission STS-114 Discovery photographs several unidentified lights in the sky. One of them appears to come to a halt and then reverse direction. The video has been sped up 10 times to more clearly show this change in trajectory. NASA gives no official explanation for what this object might be, but their most common explanation for sightings of this kind are ice crystals breaking off from the shuttle. In this case, that explanation seems highly unlikely. But Dr. Jack Kasher, a professor emeritus of physics at the University of Nebraska, has examined this and other NASA videos, and he believes this is not always an adequate explanation.
There are several key ideas that led me to at least be satisfied with the concept that these are not ice particles.
You see an object come into frame from the lower right. It seems to stop, but it's not stopping, right, Jack?
Nope. It's moving away at this point. It's circling back around.
Every other object in frame is almost as if it's stationary, except for that.
It passed right about through here.
Yeah.
That's the Earth. And it's going to come back down lower than it was before.
You really have an object under intelligent control arcing around and heading back toward the Earth.
Could there be another possible explanation? Is this object a meteor or comet? A comet or meteor moving in the vacuum of space will continue to travel on its existing course unless it's affected by an outside force. For this object to change direction, it needs to hit something. But this object doesn't appear to collide with any other object.
When I first look at this, I thought these were stars, and that we're in orbit looking out into space. It looks to me like it's following a perfect arc, moving away from us on an orbital plane, and the plane is above our point of view.
And I'm disagreeing and saying, no, it looks like this is actually changing direction before our eyes.
To be intelligent, to me, it would have to do something that was outside of a natural orbital arc. So like a nice, natural, continuous arc that would be a function purely of an inanimate object just in standard gravitational orbit.
Whether this object is in a natural orbit or actually changing direction is difficult to determine. Even if this object is in orbit, it is highly unlikely to be a satellite or space junk, neither of which would have this type of orbital path. But the STS-114 shuttle mission isn't the only mission to have recorded an anomalous event in space. The team will look at one of the most provocative pieces of evidence to date.
This was the video that convinced NASA not to release the video right away.
Since 1981, actual NASA footage taken during space shuttle missions displays what some UFO experts believe are objects behaving in an unnatural manner. September 15, 1991, Space Shuttle mission STS-48 Discovery, near 8:30 Greenwich Mean Time. This video was captured by a camera mounted on the bulkhead of the shuttle. A glowing object appears near the horizon. It moves toward the left of the screen, but then quickly moves to the right at an incredible speed. A TV camera mounted on the outside of the shuttle records the scene. A light flashes at the left of the screen, and the object changes direction and streaks away. Later, two streaks of light flash through empty space. What did the space shuttle camera capture?
This was the video that convinced NASA not to release the video right away. This became famous.
And what makes this so interesting is that we're out in space, so we don't have too many options. If the main object is an ice particle, it's about up here. The camera is back here, pointing up at a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
We're left with this vernier rocket firing down here.